into the first chicane once again. It's wheel to wheel. Hamilton and Verstappen, and this time Verstappen and Hamilton have crashed.
The 2021 Formula One season was not just a championship battle. It was a war. A season defined by two gladiators at the peak of their powers. On one side, the seven-time world champion chasing history. On the other, the fearless prodigy determined to end an era. By the time Formula One arrived in Abu Dhabi, the title fight between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen had become something deeper than sport. It had become personal, it had become political, and it would end in controversy that still divides the sport today. This is the story of the 2021 Formula One season and the final race that changed everything. Part 1. The Challenger Rises. For years, Mercedes had ruled Formula One with ruthless precision. Hamilton stood at the summit, tied on 7 world titles, equal with Michael Schumacher. An 8th championship would make him the most decorated driver in history. But 2021 was different. Red Bull arrived with a car that could finally fight, and Verstappen was no longer the reckless teenager from 2015. He was faster, calmer, more complete. From the opening round in Bahrain, it was clear this would not be a comfortable title defense. Part 2. Early sparks. Bahrain set the tone. Wheel-to-wheel, strategy battles, track limits drama. Hamilton drew first blood, but Verstappen answered back in France, then Austria, then again. The championship lead began to swing. This was not dominance. This was escalation, and it was building toward something inevitable. Part 3. Silverstone, the first explosion. At Silverstone, the rivalry detonated, flat out through Copse Corner. Neither driver lifted. Hamilton held the inside line. Verstappen refused to yield. The result? A 51G impact into the barriers. Verstappen was sent to the hospital. Hamilton received a penalty, but still won the race. The championship tightened. The respect between them began to fracture. From that moment on, it was no longer just racing. It was retaliation. Part 4. Monza and mutual destruction. At Monza, they collided again. This time, both cars were eliminated. The Red Bull mounted over the Mercedes cockpit, saved only by the Halo device. 2 title contenders, 0 points. The championship was no longer clean. It was bruised. Part 5. The final stretch, Brazil, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Hamilton mounted a late-season comeback of extraordinary force. In Brazil, after disqualification in qualifying and starting last in the sprint, he carved through the field in one of the greatest recovery drives in modern Formula One. In Saudi Arabia, the tension reached boiling point. Brake tests, position swaps, another collision. By the time the circus arrived in Abu Dhabi, the standings were locked. Hamilton, 369.5 points. Verstappen, 369.5 points. Winner takes all. 1 race, 1 title, no margin for error. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Part 6. Lights out. Verstappen started from pole. Hamilton launched better. Into turn 1, Verstappen attacked aggressively around the outside. Hamilton cut the corner and retained the lead. Red Bull demanded a penalty. The stewards took no action. The tension was immediate. From there, Hamilton controlled the race. Lap after lap, the Mercedes looked superior. Verstappen tried undercut strategies. It wasn't enough. With 5 laps remaining, Hamilton was on course for an 8th world title. Then, everything changed. Part 7. The crash. Nicholas Latifi crashed into the barriers. A safety car was deployed. Verstappen immediately pitted for fresh soft tires. Mercedes kept Hamilton out. Track position was king. Now came the critical question. Would lapped cars be allowed to overtake the safety car? If they were not, the race would likely finish under caution, and Hamilton would win. If they were, Verstappen would have 1 racing lap on fresh tires against a rival on worn hard compounds. Inside race control, pressure mounted. Team principals Christian Horner and Toto Wolff lobbied intensely. The decision rested with race director Michael Masi, and what followed would shake the sport. Part 8. The decision. Initially, race control announced that lapped cars would not overtake. Moments later, that message changed. Only the lapped cars between Hamilton and Verstappen were allowed through. Not all lapped cars, just those separating the title contenders. Then, without an additional lap for the field to regroup, the safety car was called in. This deviated from standard procedure. Mercedes protested immediately, but the race was going green. One lap, one championship. Part 9, the final lap. Hamilton led. Old hard tires, no defensive advantage. Verstappen attacked into turn 5. He lunged down the inside. Fresh soft tires gripping at maximum temperature. Hamilton had no traction to respond. The Red Bull took the lead. Through the final sector, Hamilton tried to fight back. It wasn't enough. Max Verstappen crossed the line first, world champion, for the first time. Part 10. The aftermath. Celebration on one side. Shock on the other. Mercedes filed official protests. Both were dismissed. An appeal was considered, then withdrawn. The FIA later admitted that procedural errors had occurred. Michael Masi was removed from his role before the 2022 season, but the result stood. The record books show 2021 Formula One world champion Max Verstappen. To some, it was destiny fulfilled. To others, it was a championship decided by mismanagement. What cannot be denied is this. Both drivers produced one of the greatest seasons in Formula One history. Wheel-to-wheel battles, historic comebacks, unrelenting intensity. The 2021 season did not just crown a champion, it exposed the limits of regulation under pressure, it tested fairness against entertainment, and it changed how race control would operate forever. In the end, 2021 was not defined by one corner or one decision. It was defined by two drivers who refused to give an inch. Hamilton chasing immortality, Verstappen seizing his moment. History will debate the controversy. But no one will ever forget the night the championship was decided on a single lap in Abu Dhabi. And Formula One was never the same again.